Mr. Prime.
Dude, they couldn't even give us to Friday on the Darnold injury.
Well, first of all, before we go into negativity, we have the bye weekend. We had a weekend full of no Jets football. That's exciting. We get to watch other things. Like, how was your bye week, man? Did you enjoy the time away from the New York Jets?
I mean, I enjoy watching other football, but again, it's just a constant reminder of like just how far we have to go. When you're watching the Jaguars, have a fourth quarter lead against Green Bay, the Giants are making steps right now. Suddenly they're in the division hunt. Every team seems like they're just, many steps further than where the Jets are right now, including a lot of the young quarterbacks out there too. So it sucks watching it.
Yeah, there's some interesting football out there. It was refreshing, man. It was nice to wake up on a Sunday morning and not worry about the Jets. Even tonight, not worry about the Jets. Get a little kind of like just a reprieve. And then you watch all these young quarterbacks, whether it's Tua or Kyler Murray or Josh Allen or all these guys just throwing the ball all over the place. And it's like, why can't we have that? We could have had it, but we don't have it. So you're like, all right, now it's going back to it's Monday morning. And unfortunately, we have to get back to Jets football and get back to reality, which is painful at 0-9. You're like, what could possibly go wrong with the New York Jets? And like you said, you wake up and it's like you get into the day, you're waiting for football news, boom, Sam Darnold's out.
It took 1:20 for you to turn it to next. Dude, like you said, I mean, I was at least hoping, for some good news after the bye week. Sam's getting healthy. He's going to play this week because that's really the only thing you have to look forward to, minus some of the other rookies that are finally starting to get healthy and back on the field. You want to see your quarterback out there. You want to, at the very least, see him build up his trade value and, to see him sitting out. I applaud him because I think this decision is probably coming from his agent, his family, whoever, other doctors. I heard Samini say he's talking with other doctors. I don't know if there's anything more to that. But
would you trust the Jets doctors at this
point?
No,
I wouldn't. I absolutely wouldn't. So that's what I'm saying. Good for him. He's putting himself first.
I wouldn't play another down. I wouldn't play another down.
It's about time. Yeah, it's about time he does that because nobody else in this organization has put him first. It's about time he does it for himself.
I wouldn't play the rest of the year if I was Sam Darnold. Like, what? I'm good. Like, I've got to be 100% healthy or I'm not going on the field again.
Yep.
Why bother?
Yep.
And it's like, and
the only thing he's doing is building up his trade value for the Jets, and he owes them nothing. So.
And the thing is this, it's like the Jets just can't handle injuries correctly. Like, look at what got us here. Does anybody want to ever call the Jets out on how they mishandle injuries over and over and over again and what the process is? And will the media ever ask that question or are they too scared? So now they're saying going back in the game wasn't that big of a deal. He should have slid. He shouldn't take the big hit. I just don't believe that, dude. I will never believe that ever. He's covering for the team and they blew it again.
You can't go into a game with that mindset that I can't get hit, otherwise I'm going to get hurt. I have to slide every single time. Sometimes you can't slide. You're in the pocket. You're going to get hit. You're going to get driven to the ground. We saw that on Thursday night against Denver. So there's always that possibility, regardless of whether or not you slide. So if that possibility was there, he shouldn't have been playing, period.
I mean, their history of mishandling injuries goes back to last year. This is the Adam Gase era. And Joe Douglas, let's be honest, was here last year too when they happened. C.J. Mosley was grossly mishandled. Le'Veon Bell, Becton, and now Sam Darnold twice. They have a history of mishandling things. To the point now where your quarterback that you're supposed to believe in, you want to see something from, is missing extensive periods of time. Now, the whole rap where I know they're trying to say, oh, Sam Darnold, he has a propensity of getting hurt, this and that. You're not helping the cause. You're mishandling him. Like, the player is always going to want to play, and at some point you say, listen, man, live for another day, come back next week, we'll regroup. They don't do that.
And the Becton one was more alarming just because of the fact that they knew enough not to start him, that he wasn't healthy enough to start your first round pick, who best offensive tackle. Exactly, he's your emergency backup. So in case somebody else gets hurt, then you're going to risk him getting hurt even worse. How does that work exactly? If you're not 100%, you can't start. You shouldn't play, especially in a season like this. We're not playing for anything right now. We all knew this season was about, just evaluating young guys and kind of seeing what we have. Anybody trying to risk a minor injury, turning it into a major one, like we've seen a couple of times now with Darnold, thank God Becton's not going to miss more time, it looks like, but still, the fact that he even had to miss more time, at the time of that injury Thursday night was just stupid.
Yeah. So right now, to me, it's like, if I'm Sam Darnold, I'm not playing the rest of this year. I'm not. I'm like, I'm good. Let's come back and play the last 3 games of the season, last 4 game season. For what reason? Really, it could be his agent, it could be his family. Dude, there's nothing going to come out of it.
I do think he wants to get back on the field for at least some portion of the season, because he is auditioning for a starting job. I mean, right now, I mean, is there a team that can say without a shadow of a doubt that they want him as their starting quarterback? Has he shown them enough through 3 years? I don't really know. Especially,
is 3 games going to change it? And with this shitty organization that's going to be 0-13 at the time?
Again, it depends who's in his ear. As far as, all right, sit it out, rest up, get healthy. We're going to find you a new team next year. Versus, all right, you need to kind of build up your value if you really want to be in consideration.
If he goes 15-25 for 180 yards, where's that going to prove anybody? What they're going to say is he's on a shitty team with a shitty coach. He needs to get the fuck out of Dodge and start over. Like, it's a rebuild for him. Like, he needs to change the scenery. I think teams that evaluate him during the draft process, they'll watch all his film. I don't think 3 or 4 games make a difference at this point. I really don't.
No, probably not. But again, we just saw Flacco on Monday night throw for 3 touchdowns. If Sam could have 3 or 4 games where he puts up, 300 yards per game, even 250, I'm just saying.
Come on, man.
I'm just saying, if he did that, he might open up some eyes from some other teams as far as competing for a starting job next year. I don't know. If
my cat started to bark, I'd call it a dog. That's not going to happen. So, I mean, this is, I think, to me, I'm like, you know what? First of all, I mean, if I'm Sam Darnold, I'm not playing. I'm out until I'm like fresh as a daisy. Like, I want to feel like I just never got hit ever. So that'd be the first thing. Secondly is, are they ever going to let Morgan play? Because this whole Joe Flacco thing is going to be ridiculous. We know Flacco's not going to be here next year. How about you get the young quarterback, the one your 4th round pick? Let him see the field now. You're 0-9. You're out of the playoffs. You have nothing to play for. If it's truly let's evaluate what we have, which the other shit you're trying to sell us, then evaluate what you have. Play Bryce Hall, play Cameron Clark, play every friggin' rookie, including your quarterback.
That's the one thing we can agree on. If Sam's not going to play, whether it's just this week or, a few weeks beyond, then yeah, we should be evaluating James Morgan. You thought enough of him to invest a 4th round pick. We know Flacco's not here for the future. So why not give the kid a chance? He's had enough time to learn the playbook at this point. It's, you're 9-10 weeks into the season. Give him a shot. Yeah, you have nothing to lose. You're clearly, at least at this point, you're trying to tank. I mean, you haven't spent any money. You haven't made, any deadline moves to acquire talent. You've, sold pieces off. You're clearly.
They made a move today. That could be your starting lineman. He's on last year's contract though. Pat Elflein.
Yeah, but again, that's part of like the evaluation process, right? Is this guy better at what we might be able to sign him at the end of the year compared to what we're paying Alex Lewis at $6 million?
Yeah. Or Cameron Clark, but Cameron Clark should be playing too.
Yeah.
Like, he shouldn't be inactive every week.
Yeah, there's no reason at this point to keep looking at Van Roten. I mean,
no.
So,
but that's the whole thing. Like, you're coming off a bye, so now in theory you should see wholesale changes here, where it's like, all right, we understand our season's over, and now we truly only have 7 games left to see exactly what we have with these young guys, and we know, or Joe Douglas should know, who's not coming back next year based on how they played. Whatever else, like, at this point. I mean, Brian Poole's banged up, but I mean,
do we know at this point? We thought
with the players,
with Robbie Anderson last year, do they know if they knew he wasn't coming back? They should have traded him.
Do we know Pierre Desir is not coming back next year?
Well, him, yeah.
So then he should not be on the field. Do we know Henry Anderson's not going to be here next year? Yes, he should not be on the field. There are certain high-priced guys on this team that aren't worth shit that shouldn't see the playing field the rest of the year. They shouldn't be. Like, at some point, you play. It is a business. And our business is our young guys got to play and get experience. You need to sit your ass on the bench. Period. That's it. Like that. This has to happen now. This is the week you start doing it. You have to. Like, and then the other thing is like, you have Mims. The tight end position's a complete mess. But what do you do with Herndon? Do you even try featuring him, or do you what do you do there? Like, and then the whole Frank Gore thing. At some point, you say, Frank Gore, listen, man, we appreciate you keeping us around for the first 9 games of the season. Now it's time for you to go to bench, and Ty Johnson actually gets carries to see what he has. Like, their job right now is evaluating players. It's not about winning. It's about evaluating.
I mean, that should have been the approach all year, but I mean, better late than never. Better late than never, I guess. I mean, yeah, you'd like to see P. Ryan out there, and even Herndon to an extent. Just based off what he did his rookie year, I'd like to see if they featured him a little bit more, if he can get some of that confidence back that he had, because he was making plays his rookie year. So I don't know what the hell happened from the end of his rookie season, combined with the suspension and the injury from last year. But I mean, he just hasn't been the same player. I'd like to see if you could still salvage a little bit out of him. But I mean, he seems like a lost cause at this point. So you're probably starting over at the tight end position at the end of the year.
Especially like if the excuse was that Sam Darnold wasn't making the right reads or whatever your excuse is, Joe Flacco is your veteran quarterback. He's here for a reason. There's no reason why you can't say, hey, Joe, listen, feature the tight ends now, or like let him help you find out what you have. Like, at least do that. Like, this is where Joe Douglas, when they have their meetings discussing plays or whatever they do, maybe they take naps together for all I know. That's probably a big thing at the Jets after the hard practice. But, like, dude, say, listen, this is our goal as an organization now. It's over. We all admit it. 0-9. There's no more playoffs. Don't sell us shit. We need to see these guys play. In your play calling, let's change up a little bit and feature other players, the tight ends. They got to do something, dude.
Well, the problem is, I mean, Adam Gase historically doesn't feature the tight ends in his offense. So
this is Dow Loggins now.
I mean, what's the difference?
They've had a week, dude. You have a bye week for a reason. You change, you self-scout, you figure out what things need to change, what direction we do for the next 7 games. Like, the organization has to have a clue.
What's Adam Gase going to change in a week that he hasn't changed in 4.5 years?
You could change your approach and your game plans. Okay, listen, let's change. Like, Joe Douglas can step in and say, listen, man, this is what we need to do. We talked about it. You need to be more aggressive. You need to do this and try it out. You got to get something out of the next 7 games.
Does Douglas even have the power to do that? To tell Adam Gase
they discussed the plays after the game.
To use his personnel?
They discussed plays. They took the play calling away from him. They have Dow Loggins doing it, so they're doing something.
That's true. I still think it's more show than anything else, but
hey, man, they at least got to show they're trying to do something for the next 7 weeks, and that is play all the young kids, and like, you know, Pierre Desir could be cut for all I care. I mean, like, some of these guys don't have any value at all. Yeah. And then
I do think, though, that there's a difference between a guy like Pierre Desir, who just sucks, and you also see the questionable effort at times, versus Henry Anderson, who I still think he's giving you some effort, and I think he's respected in the locker room. He's been here a couple of years. Man. But he makes some plays.
For his price tag, he can sit on the bench.
For his price tag, yes. For his price tag, I mean, that's why we hate him. But
yeah, but I mean, like,
rotational defensive lineman. I mean, he's not, you know.
But like, as an organization, even though you're a laughing stock and you're the worst team in the NFL, how do you even justify keeping Pierre Desir on your roster right now? Yeah. When they as a team watch the film, which they obviously watch it because they talk about it all the time after their great week of practice. When you watch the embarrassing effort that he puts on the field, how do you keep him? How is that a role model for Lamar Jackson and Guidry and Bryce Hall and all these young kids that are trying to learn something? You're learning from him? Like, he shouldn't be on the team. No,
completely agree. We've been saying that since what? Week 2? Week 3?
So I'm curious to see how they handle this coming out of the bye. It's just, what is this now? Shaq. I hate this team, but love you guys. And hey, how much for one of those shirts prime time?
Which ones? Shirt? The Let's Talk Jet shirts?
I don't know what shirt he's talking about. I can give you an MMA shirt if you want, Shaq.
I said I got like 2 of the Let's Talk Jet shirts, size XL, I think.
Shaq's an XL.
Oh, perfect.
So, but Shaq will get you, man. I'll message you. So, and you coming out, so they did sign, you know, Pat Elflein, I think that's how you say his name, from the Vikings. He fits the Joe Douglas mold of lineman, versatile, center guard, which is wonderful. Great. I don't care. He's an unrestricted free agent next year. Please play Cameron Clark, man. Like, I just want to see the rookie play. Like, right?
You could play both of them.
Try it. Man, Van Roten has been that great. I don't understand when people say Van Roten's playing so much better. I don't see it, but
Van Roten needs to sit just because of his age. He's not part of your future. You want to evaluate Cameron Clark, I think, on the right side, and then put Elflein on the left side, you know, for a couple games. Just, again, because of how much Alex Lewis is going to make next year, I'd like to see what this offensive line could look like with somebody else who you think might be a starting caliber guard at left guard, and kind of compare it. See what you can get Elflein for at the end of the year, and then compare that with, you know, the $6 or $6.5 million, whatever it is that Lewis is going to make, which I don't think any of it, or maybe only $1 million's guaranteed, something like that. So you can get out from it if you need to. So
yeah, so it's gonna be interesting. Like I said, there's a bye week. There's not a whole hell of a lot to talk about other than Darnold being out, and it's just like, man, that's just like a kick in the ass. Like, it's just like more Flacco, more Gore.
We got some good news.
Oh, Becton's coming back.
No.
What is it?
Seattle's pick up to 20th.
Man, how the times have changed for Jamal Adams and the Seahawks. That defense is horrendous, man. They are terrible. Yep. It's funny because we have a lot of comments about that, actually. How do you feel about Jamal Adams playing bad? Well, he's not playing bad behind the line of scrimmage. He's getting his sacks and pressures, but and then he pulled the Bradley McDougald, man. You see that the goal line thing where he olayed the tackle?
Yep, I saw that.
Like, man.
I'm sure he'll blame it on the shoulder or whatever.
Yeah, that's what all the defenders saying. Oh, he's playing with a bad shoulder. He's trying to be a trooper.
Yeah, I saw his quote after the game. I'm a warrior or whatever it is. I'm
a warrior, my ass. You're getting roasted. Good luck at those. But could you imagine being the Seahawks now? They're in the same situation as the Giants when the Giants trade for Leonard Williams, where it's like, all right, you gave up the draft picks, so you got to keep him around. So the Seahawks got to keep Jamal. But that contract negotiation is going to be brutal.
Yep.
Because he has a price tag in his mind what he wants, and he's nowhere near worth that now after this shitty year. And if this team keep losing, especially.
Well, what's crazy is that he ended up missing 4 games, and there's still a chance he might break the sack record for safety. So I mean, he's obviously going to use that as far as his contract negotiation goes. He's a 2-time Pro Bowler, been to the All Pro last year. See where he goes this year, but yeah, he's going to be looking for top dollar, and you almost have to pay him. You're talking about Leonard Williams. That was a 3rd round pick and a conditional 5th. This is 2 first rounders and a 3rd, so they have to pay him. You can't let him walk at this point.
So I'm saying that's a fun negotiation where it's like you gave up all that to get him, and he's going to want his. He still thinks he's a megastar in the league. So good luck with that, Seattle. So for those of you who think Gase is getting fired, who's handling these roster decisions, Douglas or? The hell is going on? That I honestly don't know. I mean, I think Douglas handles a lot of it, but then when you had the Kalen Ballage thing, the Miami running back that Gase obviously wanted badly, who's actually playing well now for San Diego, for Los Angeles, which is just absurd. But
this might sound like a joke, but I mean, there probably is dialogue where, if there's a player available like Ballage who Gase wants, he gives Douglas a call and says, hey, can we put in a claim for this guy? Or, vice versa. If Douglas identifies a player that he thinks would be a good fit, says, hey, Adam, what do you think about this guy? And then, you hope there's that level of communication. But
nice win by the Giants. That was an example of what could have been for the Jets, if not horrendous management. I mean, that applies to a lot of teams. Look at the Cardinals. Look at the Bills. Look at all these other teams that are just. I mean, the Dolphins. I mean, the Bills and Dolphins. Even the Bills, even with a terrible, the heartbreaking loss. Look at where they are now as compared to the Jets. They're playing phenomenal football with a young quarterback with a lot of pieces around them. They're well coached and a lot of good things. We're like a year and a half, 2 years behind both of them, easily.
Well, I mean, I guess just to be the optimist for a second, look how quickly Miami was able to turn it around. I mean, they're only, a game behind Buffalo? Half game, actually, I think, behind Buffalo.
It takes 2 years, and you need the coach.
Yeah, that's obviously the biggest thing, getting the right coach, and then, we'll see what happens at quarterback. But, yeah, I mean, you get the right coach, and it could change pretty quick.
Jets and Mets don't know how to handle players with injuries.
Ain't that the fucking truth?
That is definitely the truth. I mean, it's just crazy.
The mishandling of injuries and the types of injuries, too.
Yep. Got asked by someone if the Jets were going to win prior to this past week, and I said, finally, they have 0 chance of losing a game. I disagree. I worry about Flacco playing.
Yep.
Because Flacco is playing for somebody else next year. He's going to try to make some plays. He's making what $2 million this year? He's not making much this year.
Yep.
So he is trying to rehabilitate himself. He did these things to the Patriots. He's going to be inspired. I mean, could you imagine that he wins a couple games?
Another 2 touchdown game for Perriman.
Could you imagine? So I would say
Perriman to a contract extension.
And then you get the Jaguars. They had a chance against the Packers. They're playing competitive football, but I mean, I fear the Jets are going to win probably 2 games this year. I just had this weird feeling it's going to happen, and we're going to be so screwed that And then they have other teams like the Redskins only have 2 wins. The Jaguars. There's still other teams out there.
Redskins are playing good though. Alex Smith is very good.
He almost had 400 yards yesterday passing.
Back-to-back 300-yard games.
Let's see. Who's evaluating your team? Joe Douglas is. He's going to be here next year. We don't know about Adam Gase. Joe Douglas is definitely here next year. So he needs to know what he has in terms of these rookie players or young players. So when you go out and sign other players, you're not, wasting money or wasting resources. Like you want to see a lot more Mims for 4 quarters, not just 2. Yeah. You want to see more carries for P. Ryan. You want to see any young player, Cameron Clark, Bryce Hall, Zuniga, all of them. Get them all on the field. And I don't care if they suck. Like if Ashton Davis gets burned endlessly, you play all 4 quarters. We don't care. I don't care about body language. I don't care about your feelings getting hurt. You're going to play 4 quarters of football, and that's it.
Yeah, and that's what's been, I think, most frustrating about seeing, Frank Gore getting all these reps, especially on first down, and, not featuring P. Ryan a little bit more. I mean, and even now, with Flacco instead of James Morgan, just all the veterans that aren't part of your future, you really want to start to, at this point at 0-9, turn the page to your young guys.
Mr. Slick, what's up, guys? Love y'all. Will they fire Gase if when they go 0-16, or if, God forbid, they win a game or 2? I'm worried they're going to win a couple games. I am really, really worried they're going to win a couple games, especially with Flacco now. I mean, that's just, I don't know.
Is Gase getting fired then? I mean,
I think he's getting fired regardless, but I just think them winning meaningless games with Flacco and Gore is going to piss me off. I mean, you watch, we live stream, they start winning. So let's see. Right now, a few teams would hire him as a premier backup, but that ain't helping him any. I guess we're talking about Darnold. I would love to see Sam Darnold. I would like to see Sam Darnold in Indianapolis, man. I would love to see him there. But now Philip Rivers is winning. I mean, look at, and you know the thing. The other story is what's going to happen with Drew Brees, man? Because he could retire at the end of this year if he has what 5 broken ribs and a collapsed lung or some shit.
That's true. Yep.
If he steps away and says, you know what, he has that lucrative deal now to be on TV as an announcer, does he say, hey, you know what, I'm done, man. That's it. I can't really go anymore. Sam be a nice fit over there in New Orleans.
Maybe they turn it over to Jameis Winston
or Taysom Hill.
Yeah.
Well, Winston's only on a 1-year deal, isn't he?
I think so. Yeah.
Let's see. Can we not trade Darnold to the Colts just to prevent that total embarrassment of that trade?
That's what I'm saying.
Could you imagine? I'm nervous that we're going to beat the Chargers. You and me both, Jimbo. I had the same exact feeling.
Browns are definitely beatable too. Hate to say it.
And the Patriots
their defense is playing well, but their offense is not looking good right now.
No, I'm saying if you have Flacco back there just wheeling and dealing, just doing what the hell he wants because he wants to save his get some money next year.
And he can play in December too.
Yep. Yeah, I mean that's that's what Gase is the best opportunity to win. That's what he's going to say. Yep. We don't want to force our rookie into action. This is also predictable, man.
It's too cold out. There's snow on the ground.
Morgan is collecting checks every week and watching the NFL games on Sunday. I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, at what point? So if at 0-9 they don't play him, say Sam is out for the rest of the year, just in theory. At what do you say? What week 13? When would you play Morgan? You got to play him, right?
He'll get the Bryce Petty treatment week 17. We'll put him out there.
Can you imagine? Daniel Jones or Sam Darnold? I mean, obviously, it's not fair to answer that question now. That Daniel Jones is played two games in a row with no interceptions, and Sam Darnold's hurt.
Don't do it.
No, I mean
don't do it.
Flacco had one good game against the equally shitty Patriots, who beat the Ravens last night. He's ass. He played well, man. Listen, I don't like Flacco. I hate that he's playing, but against the Patriots, he was throwing the ball pretty well. The end game interception was kind of suspicious, in my opinion, because he threw to the only guy that was covered when 3 other guys were wide open. But I mean, he played well.
Yeah, you give him credit for 55 minutes. I mean,
wasted a 4th-round pick on a quarterback instead of getting another receiver. Vintage Jets.
It's exactly what we were saying on draft night.
Yep. What do you think of the O-lineman we claimed from the Vikings? Like I said, Field Yates tweeted out something. He's like a starting caliber guard. He's a guard. He's played center. He's versatile. He's also a free agent next year. So I guess he's healthy now. Hopefully you see something out of him.
And you kind of I guess, that he was claimed by, I think, 5 or 6 different teams. Yep. So shows it wasn't just the Jets that saw something, which I usually feel better about. Yep.
Gase probably thinks he could finish 7-9 and save his job. I mean, I don't think he thinks that. I think he knows how bad they are. I'm happy New England won. I hope New England has to beat the Jets week 17 to make the playoffs, so Bill doesn't let the Jets win on purpose. That's a fair point.
Kind of like that way of looking at it.
I have a funny feeling that we're already going to have a couple wins by then. I just had this weird feeling, dude, especially with Flacco. You could just see Gase open, it's almost like Gase is going to be a prick and open things up. You know what? I'm going to be part of the end of the year. I'm going to be spiteful and win some games now.
Especially after the bye week. He almost has to.
Yeah.
He had 2 weeks to prepare for this game.
Let's see. This week is legit the only real shot at a win the Jets probably have left, minus the Patriots' late season implosion. I think the Browns too, man. The Browns they're not very good. This year needs to be demoted to the practice squad or cut due to straight garbage. I mean, he's been that for 5 weeks now.
Yeah, waste of $5.5 million. Hasn't done anything all year. That 2 interception game was a fluke because he still got beaten like a drum all night.
That's terrible. They texted me. They tweeted me. Yeah. Prick. Oh, and by the way, just in case you guys wondering, I spoke to our good friend Fireman Ed, and he will be coming on this week. So
there we go.
I got to text him back. Fireman Ed will be joining us one night this week.
That's awesome.
I forgot to text him back, but he's definitely coming on. He's very excited to be talking and responding to the critics out there and responding to our comments as well.
Oh, what do we say?
Who knows, dude? Sam Darnold will go down as one of the New York Jets' tragic stories, teasing the fan base with flashes of greatness occasionally, and other times being inconsistent, turning the ball over. I mean, I agree. He's gonna go somewhere else and do well. I'm gonna be rooting for him.
I don't know. I hate that word tease. Like it's his fault. I don't know. The whole thing, like you said, tragic. I mean, that's the perfect word because the kid has so much talent, and yet at 23 years old, it's pretty much written in stone at this point. We're going to be moving on. Yeah. So, the fact that at this stage, that's where we're at with this quarterback. I mean, when we're watching Josh Allen, who struggled his first year, he gets Stephon Diggs and all this help around him. Now, he's in the MVP talk, leading the Bills to a division title. You got Tua stepping right in, all these other rookies stepping right in, 300-yard games. Like, he just has nothing around him to help him. It's deflating, man.
It's gonna be. He's right. It's a tragic story. It's gonna be one like a couple years from now. Yeah. Like, we got to pray that hopefully they get Trevor Lawrence. He plays well, and you can say, "Oh, look, and it's great to see Sam playing well. Thank God we have Trevor." Or I don't want to say it's great to see Sam playing well, and we're talking about draft picks again for quarterbacks. Because that'd be.
Regardless of what we do, though, I mean, I hope Sam plays well because he's been wronged at every single turn here, so he deserves so much better. I hope he does well.
Puppet and Muppets, Frank Gore and Joe Flacco edition. No, it's true. I mean, this is one of the games on Sunday where you just dread it because you're like, the last thing you want to do is root for Flacco and Gore. You just it sucks the life out of you, man. Like, I'd rather see Morgan throw 5 interceptions than watch Joe Flacco play quarterback. It's just horrendous. P. Ryan and Mims need to get more touches. They should feature them. Like, get Mims the ball and like 20 targets. Who cares? But they won't do that. Let's see, a lot of Ravens talk. I mean, the Ravens. There's some weird games, man.
That was a bad loss.
I had a nightmare. Trevor goes back to Clemson. Fields pulls an Eli and refuses to play for us. Then what? Trevor's not going back to Clemson. I just don't see that happening at all. I really don't see that.
Then you're writing your apology notes to Sam. That's what you're doing at that point.
This is the big story. Jim Harbaugh said Michigan's issues on him and the coaching staff to fix. Maybe that's film Gase should be watching. Man, they are going to run Jim Harbaugh right the frig out of town in Michigan, man. They hate his ass.
Do you still take him at this point?
Man. I still like him, man. Maybe just college isn't for him.
That's kind of my thinking too. That you kind of have to separate the two. What he did at the NFL level versus what. But then
you want to know who's going to be his offensive coordinator.
Yeah. Well, didn't he call the plays in San Fran or no?
I don't know. I got to check that. No, he had what's his face. Didn't he have not Greg Roman? Who did he have? Was it Greg Roman? Who do you have? Oh shit, I forget.
I'm sure somebody will say it in the comments.
Yeah. Jets need to sign DeAndre Baker. He was cleared today of all charges.
Ugh.
I don't see that happening. The Jets.
I don't think they're going down that route.
Nope. I just don't see Kevin as a comments guy. He's too busy being Mr. Primetime.
Whoa.
Kevin's a celebrity, man. I just try to just hang along here. Let's see.
Yeah, start getting involved in the comments now.
You could have him, man. I can't believe anyone thinks Belichick would purposely lose any game is insane. Pros want to win everything they compete in. They're not crazy fancies about college quarterbacks and never throw an NFL pass. Well, they won't play to exactly lose, but they also won't play their starters either, though. So there's always ways to do it where you say, listen, I'm just going to play some young guys this week. There's ways around it, man. I mean,
I do think, though, in the case of Belichick, though, at this point in the year, until they're eliminated, I don't think he's the kind of coach that would lay down for any games, though. I mean, it seemed odd, some of the play calls that we were seeing, on the Monday night game, but at the end of the day, I mean, the Patriots are still in it right now. So I don't see him as the type of coach that would want to lose this year, especially without Brady. It would kind of be like a statement for him to be able to make the playoffs in the first year. Yeah, exactly. So
they are trying to lose, though, Tyson. Why try anything new? Because if anything new includes playing the young players, that's what you try it for. Because at some point you got to suit these. You want to see Cameron Clark in action, man. You got it. Like, that's in a lost season, you lose young. You don't lose with retries that aren't going to be here next year.
I guess the only caveat to that would be on the offensive line. If you think that, Van Roten gives your quarterback more time, which then in turn allows Denzel Mims to get more opportunities, or P. Ryan, I guess that would be the only way to look at it with the offensive line. But yeah, I mean, at least with Frank Gore, I mean, that's the one guy who shouldn't be out there regardless.
Let's see. A lot of comments on never trade with the Colts. Fair enough. Sean Payton coaches the Jets. I mean, sign me up for that. I mean, I'd be very happy with that, especially if you have a nice young quarterback. Would definitely do that. Flacco played too well last game, way too close to the Jets' victory. Can't let him win any game. I completely agree with that.
I agree.
I guess they're calling us clowns.
Us?
Browns. Oh, he's a Browns fan.
No, that's why.
The Browns aren't beatable. We cannot stop Nick Chubb and Myles Garrett. I mean, okay. We all have our opinions. I think the Browns game will be closer than you think, but we're clowns, obviously. So we'll clowns. Just reiterate that we are clowns and we don't know what we're talking about.
Fair enough. When was the last time the Browns won?
How about Darnold to the Broncos? Love the show, guys. Y'all make me laugh. The Broncos could make sense. Well, Drew, they kind of believe in Drew Lock, though, don't they, though?
I think so.
So
you have some nice weapons there, though.
You stand no chance against anyone, let alone Cleveland. So obviously Cleveland is a juggernaut, obviously a very powerful, dominant team that we stand no chance against. So
all right.
That big 10-7, that 10-7 win yesterday must have everybody inspired, I guess. Go Cleveland. I'm from Indiana and already have to hear about the Colts coming up roses and passing the secondhand talent onto the Jets constantly. I don't need the Colts getting a positive from a Jets trade. Well, I mean, it depends what happens to Philip Rivers. He played good football and they're winning. They make a playoff run with him. Maybe he comes back. But, I mean, can you imagine like Frank Reich with Sam Darnold? Like that'd be such a nice fit for them.
I'd personally like to see him out of the AFC if possible. So
yeah,
again, like teams like the Niners, the Saints, I mean, that would be the ideal spot. Even
the Niners makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
Because, Garoppolo's not going to be back. They, give him and Kyle Shanahan.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be awesome. I guess we obviously angered some Cleveland Browns fans. I'm not sure why Cleveland Browns fans are watching a Jets show, but I guess that's fine. I wouldn't be mad with number 2 pick. Fields is just as good and his potential is off the charts. What do you think, man? I mean, I've watched a couple games of him and I'm just like, he looks phenomenal, but I really don't know.
Yeah. I mean, his athleticism is obviously off the charts. I mean, his accuracy is kind of up there too. I think he's only thrown like 2 interceptions in I don't know how many games.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, that's good makings of a young quarterback. Yeah. Even the kid from Florida also, Kyle Trask. I mean, he's kind of starting to creep up there also, first round pick.
Imagine we pick at 3 or 4. That's the nightmare. That is my ultimate nightmare.
Well, then you're getting Sam Darnold, his number 1 wide receiver, and you go from there.
No, I'm still getting Sam out of here. Then I'm going to figure out what my next plan is.
Wait, hold on. If we're picking 3rd or 4th.
My Sam Darnold experience is over. He's gone.
If we're picking 3rd or 4th.
He's out. Goodbye. Good riddance. Take care.
If we're picking 3rd or 4th.
Bye.
So who's your quarterback then?
I'll find somebody. My policy right now is anybody but Sam. That's what I want next year. That's how convinced I might want him out of here. Anybody but Sam.
Wow.
That's how I feel.
And that's why we can't develop a quarterback in this town.
Well, no, I'm developing one, just a different one. If Washington offers 2 firsts and Chase Young for the number 1 pick, do you do it? I love Chase Young. 2 firsts. How high are their picks?
And not for nothing, Friday night, that was an under the radar moment. You admitted you would trade the number 1 overall pick.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if people caught that. You admitted you would do it.
Am I drinking?
What was it for 2 first rounders, George Kittle, and the second rounder?
Yeah, that one. Yeah, that one, you guys.
Yeah,
because then you.
All right, so there you go.
Okay, now what is Dylan saying? Talking shit about ND always makes me feel better. So here we go. What about the firing Irish and marijuana have in common? They both get smoked in a bowl. Very, very clever, but all the Irish keep doing is winning, Dylan. So take you and your Alabama Crimson Tide shit and get off the screen. Because Notre Dame just listen, man. They can only beat the teams that are in front of them. Everybody kept telling me how it's a trap game. They're gonna be flat after the Clemson game. They're not gonna win. And what do? They win. So, and they're now me and Brandon are gonna be best friends now. I agree with Tyson. Sam is not a jet in my mind anymore.
Wow.
Get him out of here.
It's messed up.
Why do you think Woody will change things? Can't he just call his bro and tell him what to do? I think he probably wants to when he takes over himself and kind of, gets in the office, evaluates things. They talk about everything. Right?
Yeah, and I also think he wants the credit for it when he comes back as the savior, since this thing's a mess right now. I don't think he wants Chris Johnson to get the credit for turning it around if he's, on the horizon of coming back in the next few months.
This is an interesting name. How about Doug Peterson? I was actually high on Doug Peterson, and he is just falling the fuck apart in Philadelphia right now. They are a bona fide mess. And then he went on the radio this morning and embarrassed himself even more by being pissed off and mad that the fans are blaming him for coaching issues. And it's not ending well for Doug Peterson. Now you're wondering how much Frank Reich was important to him now. Right? Because they're not playing. They're playing some shitty football, man. And Carson Wentz looks terrible.
Yeah, I mean, you could almost say the same things about Wentz that we're kind of saying about Sam right now. With how he started his career and how they're starting to run him out of town. But yeah, I think Peterson, if he becomes available, would still be at the top of your list as far as a proven head coach who's won a Super Bowl before. Whether it's him, Sean Payton, Harbaugh, even though he only went to a Super Bowl. I think all those guys, the proven established guy would have to rank near the top.
I know the offense has been blamed for why the Jets are bad, but the defense has also been really bad. No arguments here, man. Yeah, we blame everybody universally, man. We don't give anybody any credit, man. I mean, especially the game on the line last week, the defense just melted. They gave away the game.
Yeah, and the offense ran 4 plays.
All right. Harbaugh is a bum, Tyson. The game evolves. He's a dinosaur. He was relevant in the NFL back when the Jets were actually winning games. It's fair enough. I mean, he went to college. I mean, that would be the interesting thing is, okay, if you do want to hire him, who are his coordinators? Like, how is he handling it? What's his vision for the quarterback? Let's see. It felt weird being a Rams fan for the weekend. Gave Jamal Adams and the Seahawks an L. By the way, Jamal not looking too good this season. I mean, he's like I said, he looks good as a pass rusher, but as a safety, he's not playing that well.
Kind of gives credence to, I guess, what Greg Williams was saying about using him the right way.
The problem is all the talent goes to Ohio State now and not Michigan. I mean, but if you look at the Michigan criticisms of Harbaugh, it's just play calling. Their play calling, their offense is stagnant, all these different things. That's a fascinating argument there. Tyson, how would you feel if Trevor Lawrence stays in college for another year but transfers to Notre Dame? I mean, if he wants to keep winning, it's where he would go, obviously, because one of the top programs in the country right now. I know, Kevin. Poor Sam. It's 1 against 11. He's on the field all by himself. This guy is below average at best. Give me a break. Attacking Darnold below average? Yikes.
Again, explain how he played better his rookie year. That's what I don't understand. As a 21-year-old kid, without much help, still as a rookie. I mean, his offensive line wasn't much better. Yes, he had Robbie Anderson, Jermaine Kearse, I think he had his rookie year. I mean, weapons weren't that much better. Yet, I guess Jeremy Bates was that big of a difference compared to Adam Gase and how far backwards we've gone since then. I mean,
this is a more important question. When can we feature Christopher Johnson on the show? Prime time?
Soon.
When soon, man? I was waiting to talk to him tonight, man.
Soon. It's in the works.
All right, so now we have Chris Johnson and Fireman coming up very soon. Damn, Tyson Felder didn't look very good. What did you think of the judge that gave Felder the fight 48-47? I don't know what the fuck that judge was thinking, man. Yeah. That fight was disappointing on so many levels. Dos Anjos with the takedowns and I don't know. Kind of bummed me out a little bit. But I love Sam Darnold. I feel so bad for him. I think we all feel bad for him. I mean, the future was so bright for him here in New York, and now it's like he's just going to get run out of town, or just he's getting hip. I mean, I given up on him.
You're running him out of town.
I'm not running him out of town. I just gave up. I want to see him start somewhere new.
No, he deserves that. I mean,
free agency this year is going to be so strange. So many guys are going to sign 1-year deals with the cap uncertainty, or teams like the Jets can take advantage of it and sign guys to deals. It depends. Some guys could be, you know what? I'm going to wait till 2022 to sign my big contract, like Brian Poole did and Jordan Jenkins. Will you have that, or will you have guys signing big contracts? I don't know. Could come down to guaranteed money.
You wonder if that's how Joe Douglas wants to build his roster too, though. Like big time contracts, free agents.
Yep. No, it's gonna be interesting to see how even how agents handle it.
Yep.
Tyson, I got to be honest, I'm with Kevin on the same thing. Would like to see him with a new coach and weapons around him. I respect that. Listen, I have no problem with you saying, you know what, you want to trade down and build around Sam, go for it. I just don't think it's ever going to work with him. I don't care who the coach is. I think Sam just needs to get the fuck out of here and move on. But listen, they take that approach, I'm going to support it. I mean,
I don't think it's realistically going to happen at this point, but I still think if you're being smart as an organization, you would look at the compensation that you can get back and say, all right, what team can we build around Sam Darnold by trading the pick versus what team are we building around Trevor Lawrence by taking him and just kind of keeping what we have.
I'm taking Trevor Lawrence and that rookie contract and a new coach and just moving on.
Well, the contract shouldn't matter because you don't have anybody to pay. You don't have anybody to pay. You don't have
this is coming from the person that says you build on the rookie contract. You were speaking this. Take advantage of the rookie contracts. Now it doesn't matter because Trevor Lawrence.
And you have nobody to pay right now.
Who cares? That makes it even better then. That means you could actually take that rookie contract and spend money on the piece around to actually build it right properly now.
Oh, so building properly is by overspending on free agents to convince them to come here.
The more money you have, the better you can build around your young quarterback. So you take advantage of the rookie contract the way they didn't do it with Sam Darnold. See, now why are we going back to this Alabama Notre Dame stuff? It's okay to be mad that the Notre Dame is a top 3 team right now. I understand though. It's okay. And I keep seeing them too. Are you happy that I see your comments now, or am I not going to get credit for that now? Just asking. Just a question. The prime time's all mellow tonight, man. Did you have recreational recreational lunch today or something?
Should have.
What happened?
Should have. Long weekend.
Would you quit drinking for a first-round draft pick? No.
It's
not worth it. Have you seen this team play over the years? You have to drink beer to watch this team.
You need a lot more than just one first-round pick.
Yeah. Okay, so now you can't get rid of Sam if we don't have a shot at a top quarterback. Come on, Tyson. That's utter madness, brothers. What? So if you have a top 4 pick? What's
who's your quarterback then?
Get creative, man. Isn't that what Joe Douglas is here for?
Get creative. That's your answer. Get creative.
Get creative. Figure it out.
Get creative. Okay.
Figure it out.
The guy that we were just talking about on the show 3 months ago about whether or not he's still our franchise quarterback.
Yep, he's gone. Okay. Damaged goods. He's out. Take care.
Now I'm rooting for wins. Here
we go. So I'm with Bruno. Anybody is greater than Sam. I'm ready.
Rooting for wins now. Flacco's going to save Sam Darnold's job.
I'm calling for an upset victory with the Browns. We can see we clearly pissed off Browns fans. I'm not really sure why. They're an okay team, but
because they're mad that they didn't take Sam instead of Baker. That's why.
Let's see. I'm still looking I'm looking at pick 1 or 2 for the possible draft haul, including a top half first-round pick. Can build on several lacking positions. Okay. There's definitely value there. I'm not going to, can you name a successful Ohio State quarterback? Can you name a successful USC quarterback?
Sam Darnold.
Yeah, exactly. Mark Sanchez. I can name a lot of them.
Carson Palmer.
How many? Look at all the USC quarterbacks, though. Dak is not. I think Dallas is re-signing Dak Prescott. I don't think he's going anywhere. I don't care what package you get. The Jets cannot trade the pick. They have no track record of being able to pass on Lawrence. Passing on him could be another awful decision in a history of awful decisions. Yeah, I don't see him passing on Lawrence either. But
right package.
Yeah, no, I just can't.
You said you do it.
How you boys doing? Ali from loyal New York Jet fans. Let's collaborate soon. Loyal Media Sports Podcast. We don't have no loyal media stuff on our name. Prime time.
What?
We don't have no fancy title to our stuff. We're too. When was the last time Tyson missed? I can't remember. What the hell am I missing?
Tyson missed.
What? All the super chat things? I've been good, man. I've been solid with them. Why do you think Woody will change things? Can't he just call his bro and how much does Bama pay their players? Pay their players? Oh yeah, that's a good question. And Michael, I got your email too. We'll be mailing it out. I gotta look all that stuff up though. You guys need depth. We need talent.
We need both.
Yeah. Here we go. I'm a Browns fan. I can say that Baker sucks. I'd rather have Darnold.
See? That's what I'm saying. That's why some Brown fans are pissed off right now. They're hearing us talk about Sam. They're thinking about what could have been. This playoff run that they're on right now, it'd look a lot more promising, I think, if Sam was the quarterback.
Not sure if you guys are watching, but Adam Thielen just made a catch for the ages. I didn't see it. I didn't have it on.
I saw it in the background, but I didn't actually see it.
Was it Vikings-Bears tonight?
Yeah. Bears are driving now.
Are they?
Yeah.
Let's see. Wentz is the problem. The Doug Peterson thing, there's ties to Joe Douglas. if he gets run out of town in Philadelphia, you wonder if Joe Douglas pulls that, but they're playing some terrible football, man. They just look just undisciplined, unorganized, just awful. Wentz looks terrible.
Yeah, they look a lot like the Jets, to be honest.
Yep. And I don't like the way he handled himself today, Doug Peterson. I was not impressed by that at all. You do that kind of shit in the New York market, you'll be run out of town immediately. It's probably going to happen in Philadelphia, too, if there's shit he did today.
Yep.
So, oh, yeah. I watched Cousins. I thank the stars the Jets didn't get him. Can you imagine paying Kirk Cousins $30 million right now? Oof.
It's the one break we caught, although you wonder what the draft picks kind of would have turned out to be. It would have went, what, Bradley Chubb, Quentin Nelson, maybe? Who knows?
Oh, here we go back to this. Kevin celebrating New England touchdown against us made me sick. I'll die before I ever root for anyone against us, and that's the truth.
We're going back to that?
Well, I got news for you. I celebrated it, too. I was happy as hell the Jets lost to the Patriots. I actually rooted for it. So you can hate me, too. I mean, it doesn't... I don't know.
So, again...
I guess we're not fans.
I was just about to say, the idea of rooting against the Jets to win right now, it has nothing to do with, not being a good fan or rooting against your team. It has everything to do with wanting to see your team get things turned around as quickly as possible. And so losing games ultimately helps that in the long term.
Yep.
Winning games right now, whether it's costing yourself a draft pick or securing Adam Gase as your coach for another year, does nothing to help you.
Yep. Yeah.
Especially when it's Joe Flacco and Frank Gore that are getting a majority of the reps. That does nothing to help you.
Definitely look at the big picture here. Listen, we hate to see the Jets lose, but this is an embarrassing loss season as it is. Winning one game is absolutely 1,000% meaningless. Yeah. It means nothing. Like beating the Patriots was what? There's nobody there. You're not beating Tom Brady. You're not beating your arch rival. We had no rivalry. We're the worst team in football. And like Kevin said, these losses can almost hopefully solidify Gase getting the hell out of here and getting the top pick, which we desperately need to either get Trevor Lawrence or to get that ransom that we need. Either way, it's a win-win. That number one pick is so damn valuable. It's especially if you want to recruit a new head coach. You know what I mean? That's a big marketing chip too. Say, hey, listen, Eric Bieniemy, not only do we have $80 million in cap space, we have the number one pick in the draft. So if you want your quarterback, take your quarterback.
Just think of all the legwork it took to get Joe Douglas to come here. Right? He didn't want the job. It took like 3 or 4 offers to get him to come here. Right?
True.
So it's not exactly easy to convince somebody to come to New York to, work in a high power position with the Jets. So if you want to get the coach, you want to have as much ammunition as possible. So yes, it's nice to have the cap space, but that number one overall pick is an incredible bargaining chip, whether it's for a trade or starting over with your own quarterback. It's a win-win.
Especially if you're Bieniemy. You say, listen, man, we want to have your offense and we'll let you get your quarterback for your offense and a 6-year contract.
Yep.
Dude, that's a sales pitch right there alone. And that rookie quarterback gives you stability because you're gonna be at least allowed to have 3 years, 2 or 3 years with that young quarterback saying, okay, listen, this is your guy. You know what I mean? Like you have some wiggle room with that, unless you're the Giants and Daniel Jones, apparently. But so crazy.
I think Bieniemy might want to work with Sam though.
No, he's smart. He wants to get his own quarterback, one that's not hurt and damaged. I think Wentz is an example of what happens when you pay your young quarterback too early based on his early success. Nothing around him because they paid him. Jets cannot stick with Sam, reset the clock. Well, the problem the Eagles have, too, is that they won with Foles. That's the problem, too, man. I mean, they did that. Wentz was always hurt. There's a lot of things that was going on in that situation.
I mean, I think it's wrong to say that you can't pay a quarterback and win, though. I mean, the Patriots have been the perfect example, I guess, paying Brady all these years.
The Chiefs just gave Mahomes $1 gazillion.
Yeah, $420 million or whatever they gave him over 10 years.
They went and signed like 3 other players at the same time. They signed Kelsey. They signed Chandler Jones. They signed all kinds of players.
Yep.
Here's a good one. Here's a win for you, Kevin. They ran Breeze out of San Diego for another quarterback, just like we were doing with Sam. So much in common. And how good is Breeze with a real offensive mind?
That's the perfect comparison right there.
That's a great comparison right there.
That's exactly how we're going to look back at Sam.
Possibly.
When he's competing with I don't know who the comparison would be right now. Pat Mahomes in 15 years, going back to back, breaking records. Yep.
All these fans rooting against our own team is a joke, and then rooting for New England against us made me puke. Well, guess what, Chin Check? You're going to be puking a lot the next 7 games. I'm going to do more of it. I'm rooting for the Chargers. I'm going to root for the Seahawks. I'm rooting for the Browns. And the last week of the season, I'm rooting for the Patriots again. How about that?
I don't get what makes somebody any more or less of a fan by rooting for wins or losses, and especially in a year like this, again, where you're 0-9, you're clearly playing for a draft pick. I mean, we all want the head coach out of here. So what does winning a game actually do for you? Makes you feel good for it makes you feel good for an hour. You get to talk shit on social media, and then what? What does the win do for you long term?
Then that same person will come in here in April and be like, I can't believe we had the 3rd pick in the draft, 4th pick in the draft. Yep. I wish we had number 1. Why did we go wrong? Oh, because you're so busy rooting for that one win with your pom-poms. Go team, go. If you had to choose one coach from the Jets, who you picking is the best? Parcells.
Probably Parcells, yeah. Especially ones that I've seen in my lifetime.
I mean, for me, it's twofold. He won. He brought us to the very close to, I mean, that is a Super Bowl team. But he changed the culture significantly to where it was. They were, in 1997, they were where we are right now. They were that bad. 2 bad years of Kotite, laughing stock in the NFL, out of shape, no discipline, no direction, going nowhere. And within 1 year, he turned it all around. And then had him playing. And then he left us in the hands of Al Groh and all this other stuff. And he gave us the foundation. So,
thought he left us in the hands of Belichick.
I mean, who screwed us over? And then went to Al Groh.
I know.
Let's see. Who deserves to be re-signed when their contracts end after the season, or does anyone want to re-sign with Jets with Gase possibly still around? I mean, here's a question for you. But like right now, who is your MVP right now? Like, do we even have the game? Like, who's a Crowder? Like, who's your one standout player on this team right now?
Becton, maybe. It might have to be Becton.
He's been hurt
for a couple games.
Like, your team MVP right now is who? Becton? Quentin Williams? Crowder?
Might have to be Becton. Who else is it? Frank Gore? Frank Gore?
It just shows you how bad we are, dude. We can't even find that team MVP right now. And then to guys to be re-signed, like, who's playing well enough to get re-signed? Perryman, we have no idea. He had one good game, and now all of a sudden he's like a highly touted guy. Brian Poole, he's banged up now, but Jordan Jenkins hasn't been.
That's going to be interesting because you could probably get him very cheap right now, considering, I mean, they thought the market for him was going to be much higher than it was entering this offseason. Yeah. He only signed for $3.5 million for 1 year. He's done nothing. I know he's been hurt a little bit too, but I mean, prior to that, his ceiling I thought was trending upward. He had, I think, 16 or 17 and a half sacks over a 2-year period. I thought the ceiling was upward, and then, this year he's just done nothing. So if you can get him cheap, I would definitely bring him back.
What about Marcus May?
I'd like to see him back also, but again, I think it would depend on the price because he's a little bit up there as far as age goes for a safety, even though he's, a recent draft pick. He's 27, I think, or 28. So
I'd like to see him in a different defense, man. Like, I just don't understand how Greg Williams uses him. Like, and the one, I don't understand how some of these fucking websites evaluate players saying he's playing at a very high level. Like, I never see him make any plays. Maybe he's good in coverage, like off the screen, we never see it, but like, I don't know. I don't understand half this shit, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Let's see. A lot of, Fireman Ed will be this week. So I have to iron that out with him, get the night that works for him, and he will definitely be on, though. I'm definitely looking forward to that.
That's going to be good.
Yeah, that's going to be good. Let's see. I think it's way too early to give up on Sam, given where he was drafted and his age. We need to see what he can do with a coach who knows what he's doing.
Couldn't have said it better. And that's the only reason I'm not throwing him away at this point, because after his first year, what did we all say about him? We all kind of said the same thing. Young quarterback, tremendous talent. He's showing you it in flashes. Once you start adding pieces around him, the ceiling should be going upward. Problem is, similar to Sanchez after his first 2 years, one by one, you stripped pieces away from him. And other than Mekhi Becton and maybe Jamison Crowder, what have we really added for Sam to this point?
Frank Gore.
Exactly. And that tells you what you need to know.
Nothing better than primetime rotating his neck, head wearing the Adam Gase mask. Jake, I got news for you, man. When he does that, dude, I die. Like, a friend of mine watched it. I got a friend of mine on Saturday. He's like, dude, that is the funniest shit. He's just like, it's impossible to keep a straight face. I can't. It's impossible.
Got the eye rolled down.
Yeah, no, you definitely got that one down. That's some good stuff there. I saw someone wearing a Jets jacket today and thought that guy has a lot of guts. I don't think I've worn any Jets stuff lately.
I haven't since, I think, sometime in the summer. I had a shirt on down the shore. That was it.
How about Kyler's throw to Hopkins? That was brutal. I mean, to To be honest, the Josh Allen throw to Stephon Diggs was money, man. Like the Bills, they made a big play, then they blew it on defense, though. Like I don't know what the hell they were doing on defense. Made no sense to me whatsoever. But that's
makes me sad watching all that. All these young quarterbacks with their big time wide receivers making big time plays and big time games. Can't relate.
Is Trevor that good? I don't watch college.
Seems like it.
I mean, once the season's over, we'll have on a bunch of draft analysts, a lot of guys that we talk with. They'll come on and share all their insight, get all the all the evaluations and stuff. But we'll see. I mean, supposedly he's a generational talent, almost as good as Andrew Luck when he was coming out.
I've heard the same about Sam.
Matt Sims. Ever him?
Yeah. Is he doing the salsa?
Yep. Let's see. Now I'm getting attacked again. Now Dylan's back on his nonsense. What do he have to say now? Hold on.
Get him, Dylan.
What? I mean, primetime, you're too mellow tonight, man. You're right.
Yeah.
I like when you're angrier.
I'm depressed from watching football yesterday.
Honest trailer for the Jets. Welcome to the Jets, where we develop kickers, punters, and we even give out players that will play better for your team. Yeah.
I mean, that's all we can develop right now. Kickers and punters, it seems like.
And the punter's been kind of inconsistent too.
Yeah, I know.
Tyson on the tank. Listen, I just want to lose, man. I just want to go 0-16 and just get everything the where it's supposed to be. Oh, here we go. Now we're attacking Sam again. What is the love on Sam? Kid has done literally nothing. Throws over wide receiver's head, and all we do is blame the coach and the personnel. Maybe it isn't all on them. Sam sucks.
When the pieces are coming in and out, when the top three receivers that you were supposed to work with this year, which we all said weren't good enough, have pretty much all been out for almost all of his reps this year. He's had maybe one in there at times. Rarely has he had two of them in there, on top of a bad offensive line, which I think for his starts was on pace to give up more sacks than last year, which was a historically bad offensive line, on top of Adam Gase calling plays with Dowell Loggins. I mean, there's only so much that you can realistically expect out of Sam Darnold. And that's all I'm saying. To me, the flashes are a sign that he has the talent, that he could do it. And we know he has the head on his shoulders. So it's just a matter of, are you going to get the right coach, right pieces around him to elevate that talent? Or are we going to keep throwing him out there with shit and expecting him to put the team on his back, which I don't think he could do right now.
Love seeing how poorly Jamal Adams is playing. Well, that's twofold. You like to see him play poorly, but you also like to see the Seahawks lose so you get a better draft pick. So,
yep.
Do you guys really want to go 0-16? Yeah. Do you guys really want to go 0-16? Even clear-cut first pick isn't worth the bad stigma that carries with it. Bad stigma. We're the worst fucking team in football right now.
We got 10 years of bad stigma.
Do you think anything will embarrass us right now? We've had ghost games, butt fumbles, disasters. Like, do you think 0-16 is going to bother us at this point? Shit.
0-16 changes nothing for me.
Bad stigma. We haven't won shit in 10 years. We're not even close to a playoff berth. Nothing. There's nothing.
The bad stigma would be carried with Adam Gase.
Yeah.
So for me, that would be the win.
I'm rooting for the players. I just want them to play the ones that will actually be around in the next few years of the rebuild. I'm with you, Matt. Like, Bryce Hall should start. Like, every rookie should start Sunday. Every one of them. All of them.
Yep.
Primetime sunglasses.
The shades, man. I'm rooting for wins, man. I'm telling you. Sam's going to be back next year now.
Do you root for losses or blowouts? Because I feel like Gase has to lose by a lot of points in order to be fired. Well, he's lost by a lot of points in 8 of the 9 games? They're getting blown out every week.
See, that's a good comment, because that's where it gets really tough, because you like seeing the young guys play well, and like just from a pure entertainment standpoint, you want to see competitive football. But yeah, does doing that give Adam Gase another lifeline to say, hey, we're making progress here. Young guys are playing well. We're competing against some good teams. I don't know.
I just want the rookies to put up good stats so we know whether they should stay or go for next year for the new staff moving forward. That's where we stand, man. Let all the young players play. But even Ty Johnson at running back, he looks so damn explosive, man. Like, give him the ball. See what he can do. Like, can he catch it? Can he run with it? Like, what can you do with him? Like, just all of it. Do you want to see more of Jeff Smith? Let it happen. Like, I don't care. Like, something.
You know a speed back who was making plays this Sunday?
Speed back who's making plays this Sunday? Who?
My boy, Trenton Cannon. You didn't see the kick return?
No, I missed it.
98 yards.
Did he?
Got tripped up at the 2. But yeah, 98-yard return.
Figures. Surprised he didn't fumble it when he fell. Where is he? With Carolina?
Yep.
Oh shit.
Matt Rule getting a lot out of him.
Poor Bridgewater got hurt again too. That sucks.
I know.
What the Jets needs a good fight song? No, the Jets needs a good coach. I don't give a shit about a fight song. God.
That's what we need. That's going to change things.
Let's see. Weeb was the greatest coach, hands down, no contest. Unfortunately, I didn't see Weeb, so I couldn't tell you about that. I only went through the Parcells experience personally, so. Al Groh wasn't terrible. Didn't he go 9-7? They just blew that game in Baltimore, but
they collapsed in December. They went like 1-3.
If anything, he played. He was too hard on the team. They practiced him too hard and stuff like that. And he wore a lot of his guys out with his like demeanor and stuff.
Well, I thought the rumor at the time was that he already kind of knew he was going to Virginia and that he, it was
his dream job.
Yeah, and that he kind of quit on the last like quarter of the season.
What's up? Snoopy's back. Primetime.
What's up, Snoopy? Cheers, man.
Primetime's not his normal self tonight. He doesn't have the usual anger and animosity that you bring to the table. Hey, Ficken's back. So no, we may have a.
I don't want Ficken back. I don't want Ficken back.
You want Sergio Castillo?
The way he was chugging on Twitter, that's my kicker.
Here we go. If the Jets get the 3rd or 4th pick in the draft, keep Darnold plus get Rosen on the cheap. Let them battle it out. Use all the picks and cap space to build around them. A Josh Rosen, Sam Darnold quarterback competition. Doesn't get any better than that, man. Woo.
I don't know about Rosen.
I was a sign Geno Smith too. Go for that. Get Bryce Petty and Hackenberg. Get them all in here.
What I was going to suggest, though, that you could do with your other first-round pick from Seattle is maybe a guy like Kyle Trask. If he falls to the middle of the first round, maybe that's somebody that you look at instead to compete with Sam. Just a thought.
Can you imagine the look on Gase's face if he gets fired this year and the Jets make the playoffs next season? I mean, I don't see them making the playoffs next year, but I don't think Gase cares. He's getting paid regardless. I don't think he really cares.
Curious if he's going to find another job or not.
I doubt it. Who's going to hire him, dude? First of all, he's getting paid. So as what? What is his specialty?
Quarterback coach?
A quarterback coach. You just watch Ryan Tannehill and Sam Darnold go to shit. Hire him as a quarterback coach?
Running back coach?
Let's see. You guys are beasts. I hope that's a good thing.
Hope so. Thank you, Bill.
Oh, here we go now. The Jets wide receiver core is really good. They just need to use their tight end.
I've seen people posting that the Jets have found their number 1, 2, and 3 wideouts. So
I think Perriman's probably got to show us a little bit more than that. No?
The problem is, what do you pay Perriman after the year?
I don't.
And that's the thing. Is there anything he could do over the last 7 games that would change your mind on bringing him back?
He had to have 100 yards every game for the last 7 games. Right? What else? He hasn't done shit. He had 1 decent game. We paid him, what, $9 million?
Yeah.
Did we expect a lot more of him than this?
Well, he's been hurt.
Exactly. What's his history?
Getting hurt.
So he comes as advertised. Is he a building block player? No. Bless Austin has been one of our most consistent players. He's been all right. He's a little inconsistent too, though.
Yeah, I wanted to see a little more out of him in coverage. I think in run support he's been good, but in coverage you want to see a little more.
Let's see. Nothing better than primetime rotating his neck, head wearing the Adam Gase mask. Fireman Ed will crack up like Tyson. Yeah, Fireman Ed's going to bring it, man. Like, it's a whole different level of energy when he comes on. So batten down the hatches. I can assure you that.
There's going to be some fights.
Yeah, there'll definitely be some fights. Fireman Ed needs 5 minutes. Needs 5-minute open mic to rehash his Gase stance from the end of last season. That's interesting, Matt, because me and Ed had an argument in the offseason about his stance on Gase, and he ripped me to shreds. And we possibly could mention that when he comes on. It's gonna go right to shit in a matter of like 2 minutes. Here we go again. What kind of fan roots for losses against their own team? That makes no sense. We said it like 6. It makes plenty of sense.
It absolutely makes sense when you're concerned with the long-term interest of your team. So again, as far as draft status goes, which is your ticket to getting possibly the right coach in here, as far as getting Adam Gase out of here and proving that he deserves to be fired to an incompetent ownership group, Like all these things, yes, losses matter. So any sign of progress, any wins, I'm sorry, it doesn't help you this season. You're 0-9. You're not going anywhere. Wins do not do anything for you right now. If you want to root for that's perfectly fine. Be a great fan and root for wins, but it doesn't do anything.
Don't complain in April then.
Yeah.
Please get another mask for CJ and Joe Douglas. Listen, we put the request in. It's on prime time now.
We got something coming.
All right, then. All right, let's see. Thoughts on how Mosley will look when he comes back? Fuck, he hasn't played in 2 years.
Who the hell knows?
If he even wants to come back. What if he retires? Let's see. I wear Jet stuff in Indiana, get all sorts of looks. I mean, I'm a Dolphins fan, just like watching y'all complain. Congrats on the win, man. Tua looks great. Yeah. Team's rallying around him. Got the right coach. Defense is playing well. Must be nice.
Sure feels good for a Dolphin fan, turning it around so quick, hearing us complain about Adam Gase.
Yep.
Must be nice.
If you had Herndon on the show, will it be just an empty chair? Can we have a stream where we just roast the Johnsons and the Adam Gase? I would pay. Listen,
we might have to do that. The Let's Talk Jets roast of Christopher Johnson and Adam Gase.
I'm not opposed to it.
Just jokes all night.
Can't get Fireman Ed for the game live stream. No, we're not gonna have Ed on for 5 hours. Ed will probably do like about 45 minutes with this. We'll probably do that. No, he's not gonna do 5 hours.
Yeah.
Let's see here. We got to block a couple people here because they're just spitting out nonsense. Gase's credentials held Peyton Manning's golf clubs. Pretty much it. Oh, here's a question for prime time. Thoughts on the return of the Rangers Lady Liberty jerseys?
I like them. I like the throwbacks. I think those were going back, to the early 2000s, I'm pretty sure. So I always like honoring tradition.
So now there's, I guess, somebody... Primetime thinks Darnold is treated unfairly, then rips Rosen. Hello, Pot. This is Kettle.
I just don't think Rosen is as good as Sam Darnold. I mean... You could argue that their situations have been similar, but again, from just a pure talent perspective, I don't think Rosen, especially his ability to move around in the pocket, his mobility, it's not even close to what Sam can do.
I'm a Lions fan. We're dealing with a lot of the same stuff here. How the hell is that? You just won yesterday, aren't you? They're like 4-5, the Lions. What the hell's their record right now?
I think they're 4-5 or 3-6.
Let's see.
On his cell phone.
Would you guys say that the Raiders are good? I recommend getting on them if they make the playoffs. I mean, John Gruden and Mike Mayock have them turned around. They're playing good football. They're running the football, which is big. And then Derek Carr is a good athlete, man. I'm glad I like him, man. Derek Carr. Yeah. I felt bad when he got hurt. He was having like the MVP year and he got hurt. Like he's, good for them. They got Mariota as a backup, which is pretty wild.
No, again, that's just another example of the right coach kind of coming in, clearing house, and very quickly they're starting to turn it around. So that just shows when you bring in the right coach. As bad as things might be, as empty as their roster was a year ago after they traded Khalil Mack, they turned it around pretty quick.
Yep, no, I agree. Let's see. Primetime has reached the 7th stage of grief.
Yep. It's beyond that.
Let's see. As a Seahawks fan, I could say the Jets finessed us for Jamal. Homie playing trash. Dude, I saw some of the comments from the, the Seahawk fans. Man, are they roasting Jamal.
Yep.
I mean, just ripping him.
Wonder if he's going to demand a trade out of there now.
A lot of Drew Brees, and that was an excellent comparison. Drew Brees and Sam Darnold. Very good comparison there.
I think a good comparison is also Alex Smith. I mean, his career really didn't get started until his 6th year when Harbaugh got hired.
What are your thoughts on the Cardinals? I mean, they got lucky yesterday. Kyler Murray is so freaking explosive, man. Mm-hmm. Running the ball, throwing it around. I mean, they win a couple weird games, but they got the one yesterday, so I don't know.
No, you like what they're doing. They got a nice young offense. They're building around Murray. They got him the number 1 wide receiver like they had to do, and they're playing well.
They're a bit inconsistent too, though. Sometimes you expect more from them. They lay a dud, but
You kind of expect that from a young team, though.
Let's see. How come the Dolphins wide receivers are suddenly dominating without Gase too? I mean, the Dolphins are just well coached. Let's just call it what it is.
We'll have to ask Gase that next time he's on with us.
Yeah. Let's see. Do a couple more here. Fellas, let's go off topic for a second. Kevin, you have a choice of 2 Met players of free agency. Who would you choose?
Ooh. I know a lot of Met fans want Bauer. And again, depends on the contract because I think he's 30 years old. So I'd be a little bit turned off if he's looking for, something crazy like 6 years plus. But I mean, Real Muto and I think George Springer are probably your top 2 guys. But then Lindor and trade, I think, should be right up there also if you can get him.
Tyson, you say you appreciate us viewers, but make us feel stupid for our opinions. Not cool, bro. No, you don't agree with our opinion. You take it personally. You keep telling us that we're stupid for rooting for losses. So as you can insult us, we can't comment back at it. That's how it works. So it's a one-way street here.
I even said I hold nothing against you. If you want to root for wins, go team, go. Like there's nothing wrong with that. Like I used to be that fan for 25 plus years of my life. No matter what the situation, I never rooted for the tank. I always rooted for the wins. November, December in contention. Never thought about the draft. There comes a certain point where you care about the long-term interest of your franchise. Getting the head coach out of there, securing the number 1 pick, which is going to get your head coach here, going to get the quarterback. At this stage, with where we're at right now, watching Adam Gase out, how does a win with an Adam Gase coach team make you feel better?
It doesn't.
It's just delaying the inevitable, at least for me.
You guys overrate Bless. I was the biggest Bless fan, but he's been playing terrible this year. The tape shows it. He gets roasted the same amount as Desir. He's inconsistently bad. I wouldn't say he's bad. He seems to get burnt in coverage sometimes, but he's very good behind in terms of tackling. In run defense. He's young, man. He didn't play a lot at Rutgers.
Hey, he's a good tackler, good in run support, very physical. But I'll say the same thing for a lot of our corners. That I think it's also the defense they're playing, where they're just 10 yards constantly off the line of scrimmage. I mean, I don't watch the tape enough, but I mean, how often is Bless actually at the line of scrimmage, in press man coverage? I'm willing to say probably not a lot. And it just seems like that's just the overall defensive philosophy this year without a true pass rusher, without, a true number 1 cornerback, that they're going to, be bend but don't break.
Yeah. And like I said, he didn't play a lot, man. He was hurt all throughout college, a very limited time. So it's like a lot of this is his first time seeing half this stuff.
It did seem like he played a little better though last year, which is kind of odd, but I don't know.
Let's see. The stadium was amazing. The Jets chant went from end zone to end zone. Yeah, those are the good old days.
Yep. The dueling chants.
Hollywood, because he's talking to me. Is Fireman Ed going to be able to log on? I question whether or not he's better than you with technology. He'll be fine.
What's funny is before, we have all this new technology now with the YouTube live streams, me, Ed, and Rob Carpenter, we used to do a show. It wasn't necessarily live, but, we'd have it posted, a few hours afterwards. And for whatever reason, the technology at the time that we tried to use, always issues right as we were starting up the show, and Ed would just lose it every single time. I would lose it too. So, but yeah, for about 2 to 3 years, we were trying to do that and just always a pain in the ass. I wish we had this stuff.
Do you think the Gase years are worse than the Cotites?
Yes.
Definitely. I definitely think so.
Yep.
The handling of just Sam Darnold and the aftermath of Sam Darnold makes it all worse just by itself. What do you think the chances are of the New England Patriots winning the division? None.
No.
Not even close. Let's see.
Bills are too good, and even if the Bills, start to collapse, I think the Dolphins will be right there.
Here's a good question. Most overrated candidate for the Jets head coaching spot? That's a good question, man.
Bill O'Brien, can I say him?
Overrated candidate. I don't know.
I know some people probably think Harbaugh.
Yep. It's right here. Jim Harbaugh is overrated. He went 2-11 versus top 10 teams. The only thing he's good at is recruiting kids out of high school and then does nothing with the talent.
It's such a different game, college to the pros.
Well, a lot of people are saying Bieniemy too because they think Andy Reid is calling the plays and developing all the plays. So that's
this year. I thought this year Bieniemy was calling the plays.
Yeah, I mean that's just what if you have the people that are going against the enemy, that's what they always say. Let's do a couple more here. Want Bill O'Brien as coach? He sucks as G. You can't sell me on that. I cannot take a Bill O'Brien. I can't.
I'm telling you, I promise you, he will get an interview. So just be ready for that part. At least he's going to get an interview.
So when are the sunglasses getting on social media?
That's a good question. I'm gonna have to get them their own page.
Yeah,
primetime shades.
That's right. All right, we'll do a couple more. Sometimes it's like 9:15. Go watch some football. O'Brien recruited Hackenberg. Oh my goodness.
Ooh, let's bring him back.
Tyson and Kevin, you and my brothers, you both know football, but you must respect old school Jet fans being offended by you guys rooting for losses. Never quit. I'm an old school Jets fan. Dude, I'm old as dirt. But at some point, you got to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Beating the Chargers on Sunday means absolutely nothing other than the fact that you're going to lose your draft position and you maybe find a way to bring back this clown coach. Winning serves no purpose, especially with Flacco and Frank Gore playing. If Sam Darnold played and you threw for 500 yards and 5 touchdowns, all right, maybe that win could be like, all right, this is giving us a glimmer of positivity, something to build off of. Maybe, possibly. But, dude.
Yeah, and Danny, I just said I have total utmost respect for any fan that sits there and legitimately roots for a win, can't root for losses. I totally get that. That was me for most of my Jets fandom. I never rooted for losses, never cared about draft status. It was always, go team, go, all that stuff. But again, like you eventually reach a point where it's like we've been watching the same thing over and over again now for 10 years, no playoffs, 19 years without a home playoff game. And so, especially for me, like as a season ticket holder, been going to games since the early 90s as a kid, like I want this shit to change. I want it to turn around as soon as possible. And I want a legitimate change. Like I want a winner year after year. I don't want, like 10 wins back in 2015 and then we have nothing again for 5 years after that. I don't want the false hopes. Like I want a legitimate foundation here. And so if getting the first overall pick not only gets the quarterback, but also gets the head coach here, let's fucking do it. Whatever is going to turn this thing around as quickly as possible. If that's more losses and getting Adam Gase fired, so be it. Yes, Adam Gase absolutely broke me. He absolutely broke. Watching football games this Sunday broke me too. Just like having a chance to sit back and see how far back we are from literally 31 other teams. It's incredible.
Brian Kelly for head coach. Let's do it. And the man can win. Man wins games. No love for Matt Campbell, a.k.a. Matt Rule Light. No, Matt Campbell gets plenty of love. He's obviously a candidate that's been mentioned a lot. I mean, I kind of like a guy that's a head coach now over a coordinators. I mean, that's, I like that. So
look at Joe Judge right now.
Yeah. I mean, I like the way he's handles business, man.
Yep. Khalil Mack always making big time plays on prime time. Always.
Remember, I wanted to sell my soul for him. Whenever he was available, I was ready to. Oh my God. What happens if you keep Sam and pass on Trevor, and Sam doesn't ever improve? That could be disastrous.
I mean, the what if game can apply the other way too. I mean, what happens if you trade Sam and he goes on to win a Super Bowl, and you take Trevor Lawrence and he's a bust? That to me, that's even more disastrous. That the guy that you had in your building, you didn't realize his talent, and he goes on to win somewhere else. And you took somebody else who didn't get the job done. Now, again, I don't think that's likely. I think Trevor Lawrence has plenty of talent. I don't think you can go wrong by taking him, but I think you could definitely build a better team around Sam Darnold, depending on the trade package you can get back.
What's the least amount you take for Sam if you do draft Lawrence?
I mean, I don't know how much bargaining power you'd really have if your intention is to draft Lawrence. I think teams would probably know that once you're shopping Sam, so that probably hurts you a little bit. So it's probably a second round pick and a fifth, maybe something like that.
Where is Primetime's energy tonight? This is not the normal Primetime time. This is something.
They broke
the Darnold
me,
injury sucked the life out of you. Sam's time is up, right?
It did. Depressed. I'm not gonna lie, it did a little bit. I was feeling some kind of hope after the bye week. We didn't have to watch any football. Figured Sam was coming right back. Chargers, winnable game, chance to look good, kind of replicate what Flacco did Monday night. And then nope, he's out. Indefinitely out.
Primetime's jet towel hanging on his wall better than Sam. Hey.
Poor Sam, man. Poor Sam.
Let's see. All love, guys. Your show helps me with all this pandemic madness. Well, there's a lot of madness coming up now, man. This world is going in the wrong direction, unfortunately.
Yep.
I thought my rock bottom was sitting in the freezing rain last year, and Cincy watching the winless Bengals run us over. This 2020 happened. That loss last year was horrendous, man. Those couple of those losses were really bad.
That game and the Dolphin game.
Primetime lost all his energy this weekend watching tape with Gase. Maybe he's transformed you, man. Maybe you've actually become him now.
Feel the change. Wearing that mask took all the energy out of me.
Primetime not coming out of bye with much energy. So not good. I can hear it now. All Bieniemy did was make Andy Reid Mahomes coffee. That's the criticism of him not knowing his role there. But he is a former player. He has a lot. His resume is phenomenal in terms of like climbing the NFL ranks from a player to a coach and everything else. Excellent pedigree. I mean, I don't know. It'd be hard to dispute that hire at all.
Yeah, I mean, if none of the prominent guys like we've mentioned before are available, he'd probably be the top guy that I would look to from all the college coaches that are out there and all the coordinator possibilities. It'd probably have to be Bieniemy.
Practice must have been great for primetime this week.
Did they have off this week in practice?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, there was the one article by Samini where he said that the Jets are going to make defense their focus point next year in the offseason.
Oh, I
was like, what in the fuck?
I saw that.
Like, there's no way that could be true, man. There's no way that's true.
It could be.
I mean, they have so many holes on offense, man. They have no running backs. They have no tight ends. They need offensive line help. They can use some help at receiver. I mean, you need to help the quarterback. I mean, there's nothing about defense that says any of that. I'd rather give up 80 points a week and have a good offense than worry about. I mean, come on.
I'm saying that there are similar needs on the defensive side. You don't have a number one corner. You could argue they might not have a number two corner either. And if they lose Poole, they don't have a slot corner. You don't have a dominant edge rusher. And if you lose Jenkins, you don't have an opposite edge rusher. As far as the interior goes, you're going to be losing Henry Anderson. Nathan Shepard, he's been inactive a bunch of times all year. You traded Jamal Adams. You could lose Marcus May in free agency. I mean, where are your building blocks on defense right now? So
who cares?
And I agree. And this was that was my approach last offseason, and it should be the same this offseason, whether it's Sam Darnold, Trevor Lawrence, or somebody else. Solidify your offense first. Get your wide receivers, get your offensive line. If you're putting up 30 plus a game and the defense is giving up 40, you can live with it because you're developing your quarterback the right way. And that we can't afford to fuck up.
Last donation for the night. We need a t-shirt with Primetime's upside down sunglasses with the caption, I protect you from Donkey Case's eyes. Yeah, Dylan. What's up with this lineman the Jets picked up? I mean, versatile, played center, played guard, on a last year's contract. So you see what you have. If it gets in the way of Cameron Clark playing, I'm going to be pissed. But Primetime said you can put them both in. So
yeah,
go for it. Can't hurt.
At some point this year, maybe week 15, week 16, that's where you should really start to evaluate everything that you have. I think Elflein, you should probably let him get a couple weeks to have the system down. But yeah, I mean, Cameron Clark, he's been here since day one. He's finally healthy. He should get the first opportunity. You put him in there, and then maybe the last week or two, you give Elflein a shot.
Primetime, would you rather have Freddie Kitchens or Adam Gase?
Give me Freddie Kitchens.
Yeah, I mean, they both suck.
Yeah. Anybody but Adam Gase.
Yeah, no first-time head coaches, please. I can understand that. I could definitely understand that, where you want a guy that has like a proven background to him, so I can get that. I mean,
you might have a choice, though.
Thank you, Kevin. We appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, this whole thing's a fiasco, man. I think Primetime sucked my energy out of me, too, now. Now I'm all depressed now.
Sam News just killed me.
It did. When I first logged on, I looked at you. I'm like, oh my god, he's down. Like this. Yeah. This is bad. Let's see. Snoopy with a comment: if the Jets build a defense in the offseason, neglect the offense, I will lose it. You won't be alone, man. I will be out of my mind.
Defense wins championships.
Right, except for the Jets.
Yep.
This team talent is so abysmal. Gase the coach. What a joke. Completely agree. Unironically, Raiders should get May. Him, Abram, and Heath would be lethal. I mean, May's fascinating, man. I don't know what they're going to do with him. It's so
he'll
weird.
Find a
like
home somewhere. If it's not with us,
it's just
find
like
a
you
home
look
somewhere.
at the team. Like we were talking about this on Saturday. It's like, you look at the Jets and like you try to find building blocks, stars, rising stars, all this. It's like Quinnen, Becton, and guys you hope like Mims and Davis. Like they have like Perriman had one decent game. Davis had like 3 nice plays. Oh, he's a star. Like you got to see so much more out of so many guys, and there was only 7 games left.
I know. And again, that's why any wasted reps with guys like Frank Gore or anybody else is just ridiculous at this point. Give it all to P. Ryan, see what you have at him out of the backfield. Start featuring Mims more in the second half. All those little things, just start getting these young guys their reps.
I'm 30 next year. I've been watching the Jets from Scotland since I was 9. This is the lowest I felt about this team. Well, hello to Scotland. I mean, this is as bad as it gets, man. This is it. And the whole problem with this is you don't know if the coach is coming back or not. We're all hoping he's gone, but I mean, whew. Let's see.
Right now, at this moment, it feels like he's coming back. Something obviously could change over the last 7 weeks if they keep getting blown out. But right now, at this very moment, I think the plan is to bring him back.
A small part of me wants his Gase to come back to see Tyson's legal plan to unfold on all of humanity. I told a friend of mine on Saturday what my plan was, and he was actually pretty impressed by it. He was like, that's pretty damn a good idea. So
wait, you can tell your friend, but you can't tell me.
Well, nope. You're going to be surprised.
It's fucked up. See how it is.
Tyson, I won't be happy until you root for the team to tie every week. The whole Bill O'Brien thing, man. Oh my God, I couldn't even fathom it.
He will get an interview. Just mark it down.
You can have the interview, pick his brain, then get him out of the complex. Let's see. Yeah, Bill O'Brien is worse than Gase.
You can't say that.
They both suck, man.
He's won 4 division titles? I'm not saying I want him as the Jets head coach, but he's much better than Adam Gase.
This is a good point too. My fear is Joe's Eagles connection brings in Jim Schwartz.
Ugh. No thanks. No thanks.
That would be nauseating right in itself. Sprained AC joint better than Sam.
I've had a sprained AC joint. It sucks, actually.
I can't wait to visit this channel when the Jets are successful. You and me both.
We've been saying that for 5 years.
Like when this team gets good, this is going to be so much fun. Our only good was Todd Bowles and Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Oh my God! 5 years later, here we are.
Let's see. The last time you enjoyed watching the Jets?
Week 16 against the Patriots, 2015, and before that, against the Steelers in the championship game. Well, actually, the Giants. I'm sorry, the Christmas Eve game against the Giants.
Why would anyone want to coach the Jets? That's really simple. $80 million in cap space and hopefully #1 pick and a chance to get your own quarterback. I mean, there's a very few, NFL head coaching jobs. So you have a chance to do that with that kind of, you have basically an open canvas there, a blank canvas, a ton of cap space, New York market, tons of draft picks, tons of cap space. You can build a team in your mold. I mean, it's marketable, man. But the 2 problems you're going to have is, will the Jets pay you? First one. And will they give you the length of contract you want after Matt Rule got what he wants down in Carolina? That kind of set the tone, man. He's going to be like, listen, this is a true rebuild. I want 6 years.
Jets don't have a choice. We can't keep dicking around with all these, second-hand, second-rate coaches. I mean, pay up, get the right guy in here. If you identify that, Bieniemy's the guy and, you got to pay, 6 years, $8 million a year to get him, so be it. Do it.
Yep. How do you view the Jamal Adams trade now, knowing the Seahawks secondary is still one of the few weaknesses on the team, and the fact he's missed multiple games for them?
Again, I still think that you see the player that he is at the line of scrimmage in the box. He's one of the best safeties in all of football. He's still got 5.5 sacks, and he's missed, like you said, 3-4 games. So, with that pace, he would easily break the safety sack record if he was healthy all those games. But yeah, I mean, there's obviously more to football than just, being able to, come in on the blitz and be there and run support. So yeah, he's got to develop his game a little bit more for the value that they got now. Looking back at it, 2 first-rounders. I mean, yeah, you're happy with that.
Tyson, when are you going to let Primetime pick the comments? You do all the work. He just sits there looking pretty. I agree.
When do you want to change it up?
Dude, whenever you're ready. It's not easy, man.
Maybe Friday night?
I'm getting attacked here by Dylan. The Browns fans are attacking.
See, the problem is, though, you had the opportunity to ease into it. Like the first time that we did these, we had like 50 people, 100 people on. It wasn't too many comments. Now the first time I'm doing it, there's going to be like several hundred people in there throwing me to the wolves.
Tough shit. Be like Sam, man. You gotta be tough. Don't you know?
That's true. That's true. I won't make excuses.
That's right.
Put the team on my back.
Let's see. This was. Wait, there's a great comment here. Oh, shit, I just missed it. Sorry, my bad. It's a really good comment. It said the fact that the Jets are 0-9 and we're not sure if the coach is going to get fired speaks volumes about the state of the team. Yeah.
Excellent comment.
It's crazy. Our team is 0-9. We're not even sure if Gase will be fired. It says everything about our owners. It's a complete fact, man.
Yep.
Like we're kind of all assuming they pull the trigger, but if they don't, I mean, then my plan goes into effect.
God. I wish I was assuming that we were going to fire Gase at this point. But yeah, I mean, it says a lot about our ownership group and the fact that they had to come out after week 1 and give him a vote of confidence. It's just ridiculous.
Jameis Winston's warm-up routine better than...
Come on.
It's hysterical. Let's see. Jags look so much better than us playing Packers yesterday. They do, man. And that was like they were at the third-string quarterback.
Yeah, they were winning that game in the fourth quarter.
Let's see. Prime time, just watch the film on how Tyson handles the comments, and you should be fine. Come on, prime time. Watch the film and watch the adjustments. The Gase effect is kicking in with prime time. Yeah, dude, you're not yourself tonight, man. This isn't your best version of yourself.
I think you're right. I'm becoming Adam Gase. Like I've gotten too much into the character. It's rubbing off on me. In fairness, though, when I do watch film, we saw it on the shotguns. I got it corrected right away. So I'll take a look at this one, see what went wrong, and get it corrected.
Oh shit! If the Jets rehire Gase, they get exactly what they deserve. No, I completely agree with that.
Yep.
Speaks volumes for the state of the team if they still aren't featuring younger talent in the last half of the season. That falls on Douglas too. I mean, they're gonna be like, dude, what's your organizational plan here? Like, at some point, you all meet and decide this.
What can he do?
I mean, it's true. I mean, you make a recommendation. Listen, they talk about it. They talk about the plays after the game. Like, what do you do this? What do you do that? At some point, as an organization, you sit down and just surprise prime time isn't blaming his effort on Tyson. Sam Darnold is better than prime time on Mondays.
Yeah, I'm not good on Mondays.
I could tell. Let's see. Guess what we'll do is we'll kind of wrap it up, man. It's 9:30. Go watch some football. So tomorrow night, we're going to do what? We got Blog Talk ready tomorrow night. So we take live calls tomorrow night.
929-477-2651.
I will get a hold of Ed tomorrow morning and figure out when night he's going to come on. And then this shit's funny as hell, man. Prime time prefers method acting. Don't worry, Prime Time. Even Babe Ruth struck out once in a while. Prime Time took a nap with Joe Douglas.
I just take a nap just before this.
So, yeah. So then I'll talk to Ed. And then once we get that ironed out, we'll put this on here. Tomorrow night, we're on Blog Talk. Friday night, we have our preview show, which is always exciting. Sunday is the live stream and the post game. So, talking to a lot of us. And
special guest on the way.
Special guest. And stay tuned for that one with Ed. Fireman's the point, I assure you guys. So, we'll talk to you guys later on.
Later.